It feels like home, home, home. It feels like home, home, home. It feels like home.
Wait, we're on video. Gotta keep that. Good afternoon and welcome to Weldon Home. Today I'm going to make a quick quiche. Last night we had apple pie and I just happened to have a little bit of the crust left over. And so I'm going to throw this into a quiche so that we've got that for lunch real quick. And I'll show you how I do it. So first you're just going to take your pie crust, and you can obviously use a pre-made Pillsbury crust or whatever, but pie crust is so easy. I usually make mine just in the food processor, and it was literally a last-minute decision last night, and you can make it very quickly in the food processor. So it's hard as a rock, so I'm just going to take my rolling pin and give it a few smacks just to try and get it to start to move. You always want to make sure when you're rolling out pie crust that you can move it. This is hard right out of the fridge, and that makes it really easy to deal with in terms of moving it, but it is kind of hard to get it to start to roll out. So give it a few good whacks, get out your aggression if you need to. All right, and don't wear long sleeves. Just gonna keep turning the dough, making sure that you've got lots of flour underneath. So if you get cracks, this is not going to be a perfect crust by any means, but it should be tasty and delicious. And since we're using it as the bottom crust, it really doesn't matter if it cracks and you don't even get it in one piece. As long as you just piece it back together and put it in, it will be absolutely fine. I don't necessarily go for things that are super perfect looking. If you wanted to take more time with it, you certainly could, and you could make it nice and perfect. But today, I'm just trying to get lunch on the table, and we're getting ready to teach tonight. Paula and I have volunteered to teach at our church, so I need to get my lesson prepared, and we're just trying to get school finished up for the day. So my crust, you can see, is nowhere near perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and try and get it to sit on my rolling pin, and then I'll bring my pan over. And like I said, even if it falls apart, and it probably will, it really doesn't matter because what we're doing is filling it. So there. And see where it's just split there? I'm just going to go ahead and piece that back together. I used more of the crust on the apple pie than I had left over, so and you kind of want to dust off if there's a ton of flour on the back of it. Dust some of that off. You see how perfect I am? So there's our very imperfect crust, and if you just want to take a butter knife and get that edge off so that it's not hanging over, just go ahead and do that. So not the most beautiful, and I'll just use a couple of these little pieces to dust off and put right over on that edge where it's needing to be filled in. So our very imperfect pie crust. If you use Pillsbury, it will look prettier, but it won't taste better. So this is an all butter pie crust and absolutely delicious. The next thing we're gonna do is add our eggs, and so you can use between 6 and 8 eggs. I have 8 eggs that I need to use up, so I'm going to go ahead and use 8. These are right from our chickeny girls and nice and fresh. Woo. Almost lost part of that one. And I'm gonna make this a ham and cheese quiche, but you could mix in any number of things. Bacon and Gruyere cheese would be delicious. Sausage and cheddar would be good. This is gonna be Monterey Jack and ham and some green onions, because that's what I had on hand, but you could put tomatoes in, you could put some green peppers or red bell peppers, anything that sounds good to you. I'm just gonna whisk that up. Make sure all of the yolks are all broken up. And I've got, well actually, a little bit of milk in there. One second. You can use milk or you can use cream, but cream has gotten so expensive, I'm just gonna go ahead and use milk. About a cup of milk. So you want to just add about a cup of milk to your 6 to 8 eggs, and then about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and about, oops, not quite that much pepper, unless you like it really, really seasoned. So just about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And I'm gonna mix that all together. And then I will pour in about a cup of grated cheese and get that on the bottom. And then about a cup of ham. Like that. There's some more cheese. And our green onions. Some of which didn't get cut all the way through, so I'll just break those up. Probably need to sharpen my knife a little bit. I'll just go ahead and pour my egg mixture right in over the top. Go like that. And then I'll just use about another handful of shredded cheese over the top. So now I'll just stick this in a 375-degree oven and I'll bake it for about 35 to 40 minutes. And we will have a lovely and very delicious quiche on our hands, and I'll show you what that looks like when it comes out. Hey, I just wanted to point out, our neighbor brought me all of these beautiful hydrangeas yesterday. Are they not gorgeous? And then I had another friend write and say that if I hang them upside down that they'll even keep their color, and I can use them as a bouquet over the winter when we don't have anything blooming. So anyway, I might take a couple of them out. Well, we are ready to cut into our quiche here. And it's pretty hot still, but the boys are hungry. And I think it'll be the best if it's super hot anyway. So, just want to give you a glimpse of what it looks like in there. All right. You can see the crust did not look perfect, but it really, really doesn't matter. There it is. One for Lukey. It's hot. And one for Paul. All right, you guys are gonna have to be the tasters. So there it is. Ta-da! All right, Paul, what's your honest review?
Is it on?
Yes.
Oh. It's like an egg pot pie.
I would give it a 10-star rating.
10?
All right, this is where I'm coming. What is your review?
My review will be a 10-star.